We're continuing on Hilchot Bet Knesset and Siman Kuf Nun Dalet of Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim, and we are still amidst the discussion of the Ramah in Sif Gimel for Tashmishei Kedusha versus Tashmish the Tashmish. What is considered direct attachment to something of Kedusha, and what is considered like a step removed from that, to which the Ramah said, if you have something that is made for the beautifying of the Kodesh, for instance, the Parochet does not touch the Sefer Torah, so Parochet is made for the beautifying of the Aron and the Torah, for the kavod of the Torah, and hence it has the halachot of Tashmishei Kedusha, even though that's not directly touching it, which is ironically more chamur than the Aron itself for the Sfaradim at least, because the Aron that hosts the Sefer Torah, for us that we have the Sefer Torah in a wooden box, so the wooden box is going to be Tashmishei Kedusha, the Aron is going to be a step removed from that, so it's going to become Tashmish the Kedusha. But yet, the Vilon, the Parochet that you hang on the Aron, which is one more step further from it, because it is made to beautify the unit of the Torah and the Aron, is considered Tashmishei Kedusha, which is interesting, right? So that's what the Ramah explained, that either you have to be directly serving the Kedusha to be Tashmishei Kedusha, or it's made for beautifying the Kedusha, like the Sefer Torah. So says the Ramah, V'davka hadavar shmanichim bahem davar Kedusha b'atzmo, either direct contact with the Kedusha, or shnaseh lekavod, or the second category would be that it's made for kavod, kegon hamichseh shel krashim shel asfarim, like the cover that you have for the cover of the Sfarim, aval oto michseh shehu lishmor oto, but if it's made not for beautifying it but for protection, that the Ramah writes, lo mikri tashmish, that's not considered Tashmishei Kedusha. De'aveh tashmish the tashmish, that's already a secondary cover which is considered serving the Tashmishei Kedusha. The cover of the Sfarim itself is Tashmishei Kedusha. The box that you put it in for protection, that would be Tashmish the Tashmish. Fine. Says the that's correct, yeah. Well, that's one nafkamina. There are others of what you can use them for, what you can't use them for, right? So says the Mishna Berura, says the Chafetz Chaim, Ze haklal, kol shenegeh mamash b'kedusha b'li hefsek, something that touches the kedusha without any barrier in between them, af al pi she'en kol kach lekavod, even though that's not really serving as kavod, rak kitzat shmira, it's more for protection or for practicality, like the argaz, like the box, the container that you put the kodesh in. That is considered Tashmishei Kedusha, right? Now, if you build a safe into the wall for the Sfarim, that's for Shmira, right? That's not considered Tashmishei Kedusha. It's not directly touching the Sefer either. Af al pi she'en nogea kach kemo taseh kesef u'mechzar krashim hoilu munach al Kedusha, because it's directly put on it, even though that there is a little hefsek there, still is considered Tashmishei Kedusha. Parochet shelanu, what is not true by Parochet that we have, the Parochet that we have, means if Vav, we'll discuss what exactly is going to be the din, Afargav, the dvar yakar v'chavod hu mikol makom meve ki mechitza ve'en munach klal al kedusha. It's not considered something that's put directly on the kedusha. It's just the mechitza. It's just the divider, and we'll see what the Berura halacha is going to say on this as well. Now, what does it mean michzeh shal krashim? By sefer, you have a cover the way we have the cover of the Sfarim nowadays. They would call these two Krashim, right? The covers, the two covers of the beginning and the end would be considered Krashim. And on top of them, they would cover with a cover for beauty and for kavod. And because this is made for the kavod of the kedusha, is considered tashmishe kedusha. It's considered tashmishe kedusha, even though that they're not directly touching the kodesh. So says the Mishnah Berura. Now this is on the Ramah now that we started reading last time. The Ramah writes, Yesh omrim delo mikri aron hakodesh ela im ken im hu kimin argaz. Aron kodesh is only when it's a box. Shelo asu lechavod Torah. That's made for kavod Torah. It's not for protection. It is that the Torah should not be out in the open. So you make a nice box for it, a nice container for it to cover it from the eye. That's considered for kavod. But if you have a safe built into the wall of the building, which is for shmirah, you don't want the Torah to be stolen, that is not considered tashmish kedusha. And certainly if it's not a conducive place, because sometimes when you have something in the choma, if you don't have the proper ventilation of air, it's going to be extremely hot over there in the aron. Like inside the house, you're always careful not to have it too hot. But if you have a closed box that's attached to the wall and it gets the sunlight directly, then it's not going to be that gishmak, because it could become very hot. The mutar litaram nisham, then you could even take them from there if they're going to get ruined. Right. Same would be, by the way, for the mezuzah of the house outside. A person should be careful how you choose the mezuzah cover of your outside door, the entrance door. Especially if your entrance gets direct sunlight, you want to have a mezuzah that kind of like it's white to project the light and not get too hot inside, because that could ruin the mezuzah. And with all of that, still you should check the mezuzah outdoor much more consistently and on a regular basis than the mezuzah inside, when you have a more a controlled environment of heat and cold, which does not necessarily require the same carefulness. So it says the Shulchan Aruch. Mitpachat shel Sefer Torah, says that, continues the Ramah. Bimei regalim, mitpach shel Sefer Torah. If you want to wash and clean the cloth that it's used for the kavod of Sefer Torah, both Sfaradim have it for covering it when you say bracha. Ashkenazim could have it even for actual cover of the Sefer Torah. And says the Ramah, you cannot wash that using meraglaim, because that's not kavod. It's not considered kavod. Anything that has bad odor, even though that it cleanses and takes the stains off better, you cannot use those things, because it's not considered respectful for the Sefer Torah. Now, Kaf HaChaim writes, you have to be careful also not to give to a goy to wash anything of kedusha, because that's not considered kavod. So that this becomes a whole question whether or not for talit you could give it to a regular dry cleaner, because that's not kedusha, it's tashmishe mitzvah, but still becomes a question whether or not it's considered respectful to give tashmishe mitzvah or tashmishe kedusha to a goy. But certainly when you talk about the cover of the Sefer Torah, you would want a Yiddish company for taking care of it, because of this inyan over here in the Kaf HaChaim, which is earlier on in Shulchan Aruch. We discussed this already. Says Maraj Shulchan Aruch in Seif Dalit, מטבחות ספרי תורה שבלו יכולים לעשות מהם תכריכין. Limit. If you have the cloth used for Sefer Torah that already is rotting away, and therefore it's not going to be used for Sefer Torah anymore, you can use them for tachrichim, for garments that's used in the burial of a met, says the Shulchan Aruch. But not a regular person that passed away, but only for met mitzvah. And that's how you do geniza on it. In other words, the garments used for Sefer Torah that now no longer are usable, what you have to do with them, that Hashmashek Kedusha, you have to put them in the ground, you have to bury them. But you can use them for a met mitzvah. Met mitzvah is a person that died and doesn't have anyone taking care of him, does not have anyone paying for his expenses, right? So the payment is mutal on the